Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am so excited for this video because I'm finally going to be trying Pat McGrath. I've tried just like a very minimal amount of products from her in the past, but I wouldn't say that it was enough to like have an opinion on her line or her eyeshadows, which is what I'm really excited about. I feel like I have a lot of questions in mind. Like I'm thinking about, is all of this worth the price? Because although I paid a little bit over $200 because I got it on sale, the value was like $400, or that's what I would have paid if I had purchased everything full price, like $400 for a full face of makeup, which is ridiculous. I'm definitely wondering if the price is going to match the quality. I'm also wondering if the eyeshadows are going to be on par with indie brands, better than indie brands, more unique, just how they compare, because I feel like I've heard so many amazing things about the eyeshadow palettes, but just in comparison with all the single indie shadows that there are, I don't know, I'm a little bit skeptical. So here's my little box of makeup that Santa put together for me. I'm very excited. So we've basically got a full face. The only thing I don't have is like a bronzer or a highlighter, but I figure that we can just do blush and do like a very simple moment, or maybe use one of the eyeshadows as highlighter. And then I also don't have a mascara because I ordered a mascara with this. I did the mini Dark Star because I was like, I really want to try one of the mascaras, but I figured there was a mini available, so that would give me a taste without paying for a full-size Pat McGrath mascara. And it didn't ship with this, and it says that it's pending shipment or something, but it seems silly to wait for just the mascara, so I'll try that another time. I feel like I should do my eyes first just because I don't know if there's going to be fallout. I don't know how I'm going to feel about the special shades, how I'm going to need to work with them, and also we can go ahead and swatch the eyeshadow palette, which of course I'm dying to do. So I did do a like shop with me for the Pat McGrath sale, and you can kind of see how I decided to pick everything out, but the mothership palette that I decided to go with is the Sublime Palette, I think. Yeah, it says Subliminal. Okay, so basically this palette was the one that spoke to me the most. Here's what it looks like. I mean, it's stunning. I just went with this one because it was a very cool tone palette, which is what I have been into. Look at the duochrome. I really like the special shades except for the cobalt blue. That's the only shade in this palette I'm not a big fan of. Like I feel like that if that was just a purple instead, I would be so much more in love. But overall, I felt like this was the palette I would get the most use out of, especially because I feel like a lot of the cool tone palettes that I've purchased, I have like some from ColourPop, I have like one of like little mini Natasha Denona, I have my Cindy Grace ones, which I love, but I feel like I don't have like a luxury cool tone palette, whereas like a lot of the other color stories, I feel like I have expensive palettes that give me the same kind of vibes, whereas this I feel like is going to stand out a little bit in my collection. Can't with these shades right here, they look so pretty. So yeah, that's why I decided to go with this one, although Utopian Dreams was calling to me. The bronze palette was calling to me, although that one looks so much more pretty on the website. When I see it in like people's pictures, I'm not as in love with it. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys too, one more thing to add into this video is that the new Bridgerton and Pat McGrath Labs collaboration, I was trying to say collection and collaboration at the same time, it launched today. And I love the packaging. I really do enjoy Bridgerton as a show, but like that's not what I'm here for. I just think that the palette looks really cute. I think the little face palette looks adorable. I love the packaging on them. I actually really like the shades. I really like the special shades in the mini palette. So I'm kind of like wanting to buy it even though it is limited edition. So I figured before I even think about it, I really need to play with this and see like, do I even like Pat McGrath shadows? Like it's silly to buy another one when I have one right here that I want to love and cherish and get use out of and everything, so we'll see about that. That is a luxe mirror. I mean, honestly, everything about this palette feels very luxe. It's just super heavy. I feel like this palette is so heavy you could use it for self-defense. Okay, so let's go ahead and swatch it. I don't know why I'm even nervous. I'm just so excited. Okay, so the first shade, I really love this. It looks like all of Pat's palettes, we're on a first name basis now. All of her palettes seem to have like a really light kind of satin shimmery shade, and I feel like that's so important to my personal makeup aesthetic. Like I always tend to gravitate towards a shade like that. Like that's the one I was thinking maybe I could put on my cheekbones too as highlighter, but this one just looks like a really pretty kind of neutral white shade. I mean, like I said, it's just a very soft satin, but I feel like that's just so helpful, especially for a palette that you want to be like an everyday, constantly using every single shade. Like that's one I could see using a lot, even though it is a little bit more basic. So we've got this matte, oh, okay, that feels so smooth and so pigmented. Kind of just like a cool toned browny gray. It pulls a little bit more brown than I was expecting. And then next to that, we've got another light cool tone. Again, that one's a little bit more brown. I feel like in pictures, they looked a bit more gray, but still very cool toned. Alrighty. Oh yeah, that looks so nice. Huh. I feel like everyone described this as gray and it looks brown. I kind of feel like we should save the special shades for last, and I'll do those on my hand so we can see the shift maybe a little bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and do these 3 shades next. We've got a black matte, which again feels so pigmented. Feels a little bit thin, but I mean, that looks really, really nice. I feel like these 4 shades right here are just easy, perfect, go-to matte kind of shadows, which again is what I was looking for. I'm like, if I'm gonna spend this much on a palette, I want it to be just super me and super like, I know my eyeshadow has been kind of basic lately, so this just goes with it. All right, anyways, next we've got like a gray, purpley kind of pewter shimmer, which looks really pretty, and that's one that I could see just throwing all over the lid. Super easy. I think that would even be really pretty with this shade right here topped over it. And then we've got another kind of gray, shimmery satin shade. Those are both satins, I would say, but that one's definitely a little bit more browny gray, way less purple. Oh yeah, super pigmented black. Okay. Those look really pretty, and I was actually pretty excited for the satins just because of Hannah Louise Poston's review of one of the Pat McGrath palettes. She was just saying how nice the satins are, even though they're kind of like not that loved in palettes because everyone's so focused on the special shades. So yeah, I mean, those look pretty. I would say like they don't look like super flat satins. This one definitely calls to me a bit more. Okay, now for the special shades. So this first one is like a yellowy golden shade. I don't know that this really has a shift to it, but it does look super, super metallic. I feel like that would be really pretty on the inner corner, all over the lid. I don't know that I'm like die hard for that shade with this color story, but it does look really pretty. I love that it's kind of like a yellowy gold, but it's not just like a straight up gold, which is another thing about a lot of Pat's palettes is like so many of them have just like a gold, and that's not typically my favorite thing to go for. If I want a gold, I want it to be like a special gold. So this one, I like that it's a little bit different. And then we've got this one, which it does feel, I wouldn't say like grainy, or like that's how some people have said it kind of feels like just like a dry layer. I don't know that I would describe it like that, but it definitely does feel like not super creamy, but it's a super, super pretty like pink, orange, purple, blue. Like honestly, I would call that shade a multi-chrome. Just me personally, like I feel like there's 4 different shifts going on and it looks so, so stunning. So there's the yellow, there's that shade. I mean, they feel dry, but they look so sparkly. I'm just like so excited to have my own opinion on this because so many people are like, you're gonna love it, you're gonna hate it, it's not gonna be anything compared to indie shadows. Some people say they hold their own. Like there's just so many opinions out there. But I think like those look really pretty. I don't love the way they feel on my finger, but the way that they look is stunning, and I feel like that's what matters. We have the blue, which that one feels so much less special. So there's what it looks like. I mean, it's a little bit of a deeper blue, not like, it looks more bright in the palette. So it's pretty, but it's just, I mean, it's just a blue. Like I already knew that I wasn't crazy about this shade. Maybe if I do like a 3 looks, or even like, I feel like this would be a good one to do like a 5 looks video with, or more. I don't know. We'll see. But I feel like, you know, I'll try to incorporate it, see what I can do with it, but it just doesn't pull at my heartstrings at all. I feel like it's because cobalt blues have just been so overdone. But yeah, also the texture, like it just feels very like smooth, but in the like most dry way, like dry but still smooth. Very interesting. And then lastly, we have this special shade, which this one looks a little bit more sheer, but it's like a white with a purpley blue kind of shimmer going on. I saw Morgan Turner do a look with this. It was like from like 3 years ago or something, but it was so stunning. She wet it and then put it like all over the front of her lid. It was just beautiful. So yeah, I definitely want to incorporate that in some way. I mean, even those two shades together, I feel like topped would be pretty. I feel like we should do that in a second. Let's just swatch these. Okay, there's the blue. There's the light one. I mean, yeah, I like the top two a little bit more, but they're all pretty. So I'm kind of just curious. I'm going to swatch a little bit more before we like go on. Here's the blue with the special topper over it. I mean, that is really pretty. I like that color, I will say. Okay, I'm going into the Satin Shades and doing another swatch of each, just because I want to see what those look like with the topper on. I hope these swatches will be helpful because I can only do so much on my eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and do the purpley blue one over top. Let's see. Okay, I mean, that looks really pretty. I feel like it just makes it look, like there it looks kind of sheer, but then over the purple it looks a little bit more intense. Let's try that one over the taupe. Okay. I feel like the blue comes out a little bit more in that one, but those two look pretty similar. Now let's do the white one over these. Okay, that looks pretty. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that looks really pretty too. Like it's like taupe, but it just has like a blue shift to it that actually looks very unique. Can I go ahead and do the taupey shimmer again and then do the yellow over top? Just out of curiosity, let's see. I mean, that kind of just makes it look like a bronze. Oh wait, no. We also have to try the blue with the purple blue shimmery duochrome on top. I can't believe I almost missed the opportunity to do that one as well, because I'm sure this will be pretty. Oh yeah. That one's really pretty too. I mean, it just, with this one it pulls more blue, and with this one it pulls a little bit more purple, blue, like duochrome-y. I mean, lots of options. As I'm wiping this off, is anyone else surprised that Pat McGrath does not have an eyeshadow primer? I think she has like an intensifies like thing that's like liquidy, that's like same concept as like a glitter primer, but like an actual like all over the lid eyeshadow primer. I feel like I could see her releasing one this year. Like it just feels a little bit incomplete in the line. For now, I'm just gonna go into the Anastasia eye primer. Just gonna blend that in with a BK Beauty concealer brush. I actually have the BK Beauty travel brush set. I'll show you guys in just a second. They sent it in PR, but I've already tried all the brushes in the full size, and the travel set is super, super cute. So I figured that today I'm doing a full face. I would also do all those brushes, but there's not one for concealer, so that's why I'm pulling this one in. But I figured I would try and use the other ones mostly, just so you guys can see how they look and I can kind of share if they're as good as the full size. They look so cute, and my favorite foundation brush is available in the little set. But anyways, back to eyeshadow. Oh, tell me why I was looking for the palette and it's literally in my lap. Here's what the little brush set looks like. So I'm just gonna pull out the eyeshadow brushes first. We've got like a little blendy brush. We've got like a crease brush. This one is actually a little bit bigger than the full size, even though they're the same brush. It's the 207. I don't know if you can tell, it looks a little bit more fluffy. And then we've also got like a little packing brush that you can put stuff all over your lid or like your inner corner or something. But I'm not sure how well it's gonna work with the pat shadows. We'll see. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this light gray right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that through my crease. And just start blending it. I mean, I went out just a tiny little bit. I feel like that kind of blended right away. Let me go in with a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just such a perfect crease color for my skin tone. I'm also kind of curious how this will compare to my feelings on Natasha Nona shadows, if I'll feel like one brand is more worth the price than the other. So now I'm going to go ahead and go into the matte shade one shade deeper right next to it. I'm going to go in with the same brush, just going to start it off on the outer V and then bring that through my crease. I mean, again, I feel like it's blending so easy, just super, super fast. I've never tried matte shades from Pat McGrath before. I did try some shimmers from a quad that I borrowed from a friend, and I didn't love them because I felt like they were all like the same formula as this blue, like just not super special to me. But the mattes seem to be just doing what they gotta do. Okay, so I think I'm gonna switch to the smaller like little crease brush and go into the, oh, and I dropped it. I'm gonna go into the black shade now. There are names for all of these shadows in the packaging of the palette, but to me, if the names aren't on the palette, they don't count. So I'm just gonna ignore them. Just gonna go ahead and just kind of start that off on the outer V and just lightly blend that. I mean, honestly, I feel like, again, just blending so easy. Go back into my previous brush and just kind of go over the edge of that. And then go in with another layer of the black just because I want to see how it builds. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys can hear my son in the background. He's just making all kinds of noises. He got a kitten for Christmas from Santa. And they're playing in my room right now, and I'm assuming he's just having the best time. I think that's about all I want to do for the matte shades on my lid, at least. I feel like that looks pretty good. I feel like everything blended out really easy, no issues. So now is the really hard part, trying to decide what to do on the lid. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something else first. I'm going to go into that highlighty, shimmery shade, just pick up a tiny little bit and go underneath my brow bone, just because I really want to try this, but I don't know that it's going to end up on my inner corner today. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty. That's, my brows are a little bit not in their best moment right now, but I feel like that's a shade I'll use a ton. I'm definitely overwhelmed, but I kind of want to go into that pewtery satin shade and then top it with this one and just see how that looks. And yeah, so I'm going to start off with the satin. Actually, I'm going to try it on a brush first. So just going to go ahead and put that all over my lid. I mean, that applied pretty good. So that was kind of what I was talking about as like being just like a really easy, quick look I could see doing all the time. Maybe even without the black to make it look a little bit softer. All right, I brought that up into my crease a little bit just because I thought it looked really pretty. And even though it is a satin, it does have like just like little flecks of sparkliness. I think I am gonna go ahead and spray this shade just because I feel like that's how I've seen a lot of people use it and kind of recommend using it. Oh yeah. I mean, that's definitely super pretty. I would say that I could definitely get that shimmery look from other eyeshadows that I have. So I don't know that it's like blowing my mind, like, oh, I've never seen something like this before. Not at all. But it does look beautiful, and I can see why people are obsessed with these special shades. Especially for anyone who doesn't own like shadows from Clionadh or Terra Moons or anything. I could see this being the best shimmer shadows they've tried. Even honestly, in comparison with Natasha Nona, like I feel like a lot of her palettes are kind of hit and miss with the special shades. Like sometimes you do have some really beautiful sparkly duochromy goodness, and like a lot of times you don't. So I like that with Pat's palettes, there's always a little quad of special shadows. Did get quite a bit of fallout, so I'm glad I did my eyes first. Okay, so let's take a break from eyes and go ahead and jump on into skin. I did pick up the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation, and I have the shade Light 2. I went with the second shade just because the first one was described as having pink undertones, which I do not have. So here's what it looks like. I mean, it's definitely Super fancy, has a little pump. The shade looks very, very pale. Okay. Oh, lordy. I was about to put it on my hand. Look at my hand, you guys. It's like Sparkle City. Edward Cullen was here moment. This feels very strange because I'm right-handed, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on my other hand. Okay. Oh, that's very runny. Okay. So I have just a little bit there. Just a little bit there. Oh, I'm trying to do this with my left hand and it's just a mess. Okay, I feel like I did not get enough product. I mean, that looks pretty, but it also looks like nothing, and I'm sure pretty sure this is supposed to be like full coverage. Like, I feel like that's what I heard. All right, we're gonna do this again. I don't know, I can't even see anything. Okay, let me shake it really well. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. I mean, it does just sound like a super liquidy foundation. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right into my brush. Okay, so this is one of the BK Beauty brushes. This is the 101 travel brush. Okay. So I would say the shade actually looks literally perfect. I feel like it matches my neck, my undertone, everything. Honestly, I think that might be the best shade match I've ever had. Like, you can't even see the foundation on my skin barely because it's just matching my neck so well. At the same time, I feel like I don't know if this brush is just soaking up too much product for this foundation with it being super liquidy, because I feel like I've heard that it's like, bam, full coverage, and I'm getting like a light, little, just light glam moment. Do a little bit more. Do it on my skin first and see how that works. I feel like it's giving also like a very natural finish. Like, it has like just a slight glow to it, but very subtle. Okay, I mean, I definitely have to play with it more and try it with different brushes and whatnot, but I would say I'm kind of surprised. Like, I thought it was gonna be a bit more coverage. I don't know if I just need to build it up more or what, but I feel like the one layer that I did is actually perfect for my preference. And the shade, 10 out of 10. I'm so glad I went with this shade. Next we have the Sublime Perfection Concealer. For this one, I went with the lightest shade, L1. I like my concealer to be a little bit lighter than my foundation, and I just didn't want to take the chance of doing light 2 and it not being the right shade for me. So I went with light 1. Which, I mean, I feel like that looks pretty good. Oh no, oh, I forgot. You know what, maybe it wasn't the foundation that was like bam coverage. I think it was the concealer. I think I already went in with too much. Okay. All right, just gonna go with my concealer brush and try to just blend that out. But wow, I think I made a mistake already. Lordy, lordy. I feel like I've heard so many people love this concealer too. I love the shade. I feel like I'm getting like super bright under eyes, but definitely went in with too much product. Take some of that and put it on like my center of my forehead, my nose. Try to distribute it a little bit. I mean, definitely a very glam under eye moment. I actually love that because I feel like so many times concealers do not give me that look. So even though it's a little bit intense, even though I feel like I should go in with less next time, I feel like it does look pretty good. I feel like this is the kind of concealer that like it looks really good on the under eyes with like a light shade, but it would also, because it's so full coverage, be nice to have, I don't even know who I am to say this, but I could maybe even go up another shade or two and use that as like a spot concealer. Not that I would do that unless the concealer was on sale, but I mean, definitely very full coverage. But I feel like it doesn't look cakey or anything, even though I went in with too much product. Next, we have the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This is another one I heard such good things about, and I was especially excited for it because, one, I've heard people say that they love it so much they literally use it for their entire face, not just their under eyes, and go through it pretty quickly, which, I mean, seems to show that like they think it's a really good product. And also, I felt like the lightest shade just looked perfect, because it is a white powder. that's what I need. I don't know, I was feeling the light under eye vibes. So I'm just going with my finger and tapping over the concealer before I set it down, just making sure everything is where it's meant to be. Get rid of any extra lines or creases or anything before we set. Going in with a little bit. Let's just do one side first just to see. Okay. I mean, I guess I would say I see it a little bit. It kind of has that like mattifying, blurring look. I feel like blurring is a little bit too dramatic, a little bit too exaggerated, but I do think that it looks nice. I feel like I keep looking at that special shade. It just looks so pretty. I'm really curious to see how it wears. But yeah, I mean, I think the powder looks nice. I don't know that I'm sold on it quite yet. I like it, but I think it'll be something where I have to see how the concealer lasts with it, how the concealer lasts without it, how it works with other concealers before I can say, oh yes, this is worth the price or anything. I feel like I need to like, I'm doing this first impression now, but I feel like I need to come back in like a month and do another full face of all of these products and give you guys like a full review. I think that'd be a fun like follow-up video. Before we go back into the eyes, I want to do blush real quick, which is so beautiful. The packaging on this makes me so happy. I love the purple flowers, but I have to tell you guys I was so disappointed because I already sneaked a little peek and I thought that the blush packaging was actually like this, but it's not. It's so boring. This is so pretty. So boring. Pretty boring. I felt a little bit catfish by that packaging. This is the Divine blush in the shade Flirtatious. And this one was a hard choice because in my shop with me video, I told you guys that like this was one that I was looking at, but there was another one. I think it was like Desert something. A desert nude maybe, and it was like a really pretty like neutral, just oh, it looks so stunning, but it was sold out. So I was like, oh, it's fine, it's not even an option. But then by the time I went to actually place my order, that shade was back in stock and I was like, oh, I love both shades so much. But I was like, I told myself I would start off with one of each product. I wasn't gonna buy multiples of anything. I just wanted to try one and see how I like the formulas, the wear, everything like that. So I decided to go with Flirtatious, even though I think I liked the shade of the desert one a little bit more. It looked a little bit more unique, but Flirtatious I felt went better with doing a full face look, and I felt like it went better with the palette, so I just decided to go with this one. And I'm talking and talking because I don't know how to open this. Oh, you have to press down. Okay, so here's what Flirtatious looks like. I mean, absolutely stunning. Just looks like a neutral kind of soft pink shade. There's a little swatch for you. I mean, definitely a very light, just everyday moment. There's what it looks like swatched out. And I feel like I've heard so many people rave about these blushes. I'm hoping for the best, but then again at the same time I feel like it's really hard to do a blush bad, so like I think I'll like it. I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 107 brush. Just pick up a little bit and throw that on my cheekbones. Okay. I mean, so the thing is, I think it looks nice. I really like the color. I'll kind of blend it out a little bit. I mean, seems to be blending fine, but I don't know. Not putting it on and just being like, wow, but it just looks like blush. Okay, so let's go back into the eyes. I think I'm gonna try and incorporate the blue just for the heck of it. I know, a blue lower lash line, so been there, done that, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm just grabbing a small pencil brush and just go ahead and pop it on. Probably could have gone in with an even smaller pencil brush, but it's fine. Just gonna do that about halfway. I will say I like the fact that it's a little bit more of a smoky blue and it's slightly less bright than I thought it was gonna be. Maybe, I think I'm gonna go back into some more of that pewtery purple shade. I really like that one. Just pop it along the inner half, then just kind of blending it into the blue in the middle. Now for the most exciting part to me. You know how I feel about a good inner corner. We're gonna go into this shade. I think I'll try it dry first, and then we can try it wet. I just feel like the way that these shimmers feel, they will excel when wet. See, like that by itself, I mean, that looks pretty. That's dry, and I think it looks nice. It has like a good little shimmery moment going on. I don't dislike that at all. I just feel like when I spray it, it's gonna be another level. Okay, so here's what it looks like wet. I mean, it just looks a little bit more intense, a little bit more opaque. Sometimes something really nice too is when you go in with it wet, going in with another layer of it dry afterwards and packing that on top. I feel like that makes it extra intense. Yeah, that looks really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the Linda Hallberg Cool Mood pencil and throw that in my waterline. Right, and then off camera, I'm just gonna throw on the Thrive Cosmetics mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, so last but not least, we have some lip products to try. I got a little trio of like a really pretty nude set. So these were kind of like pre-picked, but I felt like they looked like a really good combo of products. So first we have the Permagel Ultra Lip Pencil with Sharpener, and it is in the shade 303 Buff. I feel like I've heard such good things about these lip liners. I'm so curious, and also I love that it comes with a little sharpener. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a little swatch of Buff on my hand and see. That's what Buff looks like. It's kind of just like a pinky neutral. Feels very pigmented. Okay, it's darker than I expected it to be already. I actually don't know that I love this color. I feel like it looks so pink. Not gonna lie, slightly disappointed in the color, but I feel like it's the perfect amount of pigmentation. It feels super pigmented, but it's not like slippery. Next we have a lipstick. This is the Matte Trance lipstick in 016 Peep Show. And when I asked y'all for recommendations of Pat McGrath products, I feel, oh, this is so cute. I feel like majority of people said that one of the things most worth it was her matte lipsticks, which I mean, packaging is super cute. I'm very curious to compare this to the matte lipsticks from Lisa Eldridge because those are my favorite formula. So here's what the shade looks like. I mean, it looks like such a pretty nude. So there is Peep Show. You can tell my lips are dry. I feel like it's pulling more pinky with this lip liner, but I think I could go in with something a little bit more neutral and play that up. I apologize about my lips. I had lip oil on. I've been wearing chapstick constantly. They're just still dry. But I mean, I feel like that looks pretty. You can see the dryness a little bit, which one of the things that I really love about Lisa Eldridge lipstick is even with the matte ones, I cannot see how dry my lips are. I feel like they just kind of look so good no matter what. So, I mean, I think it looks good, but we'll see. I mean, I think I like it. I like the color. I'm questioning everything just because it's so expensive. So now we have the lip gloss, and this is in the shade Dare to Bear. Another one that so many people seem to love, the lip glosses. Oh, Lord, that is not what I thought the shade was. I feel like I messed up. Was this the right set? Okay, so this is like a pinky gold kind of shade. It looks very shimmery, and I thought that I picked out one of the ones that were more like a satin because I don't really go for super shimmery lip glosses, but we'll see. Okay, I mean, that's what it looks like. It's kind of a duochrome a little bit. Like, it looks like it has like a peachy base and then a pinky flip to it. But luckily it doesn't look like uber shimmery. I guess it's just a little bit more in the tube, you can see it. But I don't like metallic lip. So let's go ahead and try this over top. Okay. I don't know why so many lip products do this. It's separating the lipstick. Not my favorite look. I like how it looks from afar, but up close the lip combo is just not giving it to me. I feel like that was kind of a fail. I'm gonna try the lipstick on its own, but the lip liner, I feel like I don't love the color of. It looks okay with everything, but it's just not my favorite. The lip gloss, I guess I could try on its own, but I don't know. I felt like the lip products I was for sure gonna like, and they're the ones that I'm kind of the most iffy about. I was taking my hair down because I was like, oh, this is the final look, but I forgot that I want to use the eyeshadow as highlighter. So let's go ahead and throw this shade on my cheekbones. Throw it right here. I don't know that that's going to be perfect because I felt like when I put it on my eyes, it had a little bit more shimmer to it than I expected. I mean, I think it looks pretty. I feel like if I was stuck and like I only had this palette and I forgot to pack a highlighter or something, I could use it. I mean, yeah, it does look pretty, but I don't know, I'm not like blown away. There's other eyeshadows I like to use as highlighter more, for sure. Alright y'all, so this is the finished first look, full face of Pat McGrath. I would say that overall this first impression went really well. I love the way my eyeshadow looks. Like I just think it looks so pretty, and it looks like very like special and fun, but in like a like sophisticated kind of sexy way. I don't know, I love the colors. I'm really happy with the palette that I went with and the shades that I went with, because I could just see like, especially the matte work that I did, that being like a very everyday go-to, don't even have to think about it and then just throw whatever on the lid kind of moment. The blush I like, but I'm not like in love with. I really like the foundation. I really like the concealer. I would say those feel pretty standout to me. I mean, I think my under eyes look really nice. So the powder is growing on me. The only thing I'm not super happy with is the lip products, and I don't know if it's just the shades that were chosen in that set. They look different online, like even what I'm looking at right now, like compared to the model. Like the model's lip swatch looked so different than what I've got going on. So yeah, it's a little disappointing. I mean, I think, not that it looks bad per se, but I'm just not in love with the set. So I'm gonna try them on its own. Like I said, I'm gonna come back in a month. I'm saying it now, I'm gonna do it, come back in a month, do a full review of all these products and tell you guys how I feel about them after wearing them all the time, because I mean, I plan to test the heck out of these things. And I'm hoping this next year my goal is to do more like quality reviews over quantity. I don't know, I've taken a little break and I've been thinking a lot about my channel going forward, but anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun for you. I would love to know if you've tried anything from Pat McGrath, what you thought of it, if it was worth the money for you. To me, so far, the eyeshadows, just to answer like the question, like are they as good as indie? I would say they are as good as, like the look that I've gotten. I think the special shade looks so pretty. Even the blue on the lower lash line I think looks beautiful. I don't know that I would say it's better, but I would say I think probably on par. So that's where I'm at right now, but again, I just have to test them a lot more. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.